Hey guys, and welcome to part 3 of Let's Play Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 Defiance on the Nintendo DS. In the last part we did the second mission of the game where we took control of some British people and did some shooting and stopped some bad guys, I guess. So yeah, this is now the third mission of the game, and it's a bit different to the other missions. Instead of actually being in first person mode, we're actually up above and looking down below, like Command and Conquer, you know, like a real-time strategy kind of game. But it's a lot more simpler than a real-time strategy sort of game. There's no sort of bases, you don't have to build units or anything like that. It's just something a bit different, you know, so you can command your troops and all that. But it's very basic because, yeah, as the top screen's explaining, you do have to select. You don't get, you only get like a certain amount of places you can take them. So wherever it has a green little glow thing like that, you can select it and then your troops will go there. So you do have to also, I think, select the green icon with the arrow. So yeah, you do also have to make sure you do that. And then this is kind of a bit of a tutorial, this very beginning bit, and yeah, you just have to go over there and you can shoot these guys. So for anyone who's a fan of Call of Duty or has played any of the Modern Warfares, you'll probably recognise this bit as being extremely similar to the AC-130 sections in the game. And it's not quite similar. I believe that this is a lot more similar to a level in Modern Warfare 2 where you're up above and you're directing people there and you have to avoid patrols and all that. I think there is a level like that in Modern Warfare 2. So this is pretty much very similar to that one. It's a bit more basic, but you still have to avoid troops. You're still looking up above. You can still command them about where to go, and yeah, it's a pretty cool level. Everything's black and white, and yeah, it's pretty cool. But this is the reason why it's very like the Modern Warfare 2 level, and it's really, really cool as well, is because once you get your guys to certain places, you're not just up above the whole time, because that would be extremely boring just because of how basic the controls are and how there's not that much to do. So yeah, now we've instantly come back to ground, and now we are controlling the soldiers again, so we actually do the braking and stuff. So again, very similar to Modern Warfare 2, but I don't know, I think this sort of level is a really cool idea, and maybe they should have used it a bit more in other Modern Warfare 2 games, but I guess they didn't, just so it wouldn't be like samey, but I don't know. So. And of course I'm going to have to get the M14 or whatever it was. That is my favourite weapon so far. You know, you can just take enemies out in like a couple of shots, there's a nice scope on it, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, so once you're in this house, you want to stay in this house. I wasn't too sure what to do, so I kind of left a bit there, but yeah, more enemies will spawn outside that you have to take out, so you know, make sure you take cover and then take out all the enemies. And apparently that explodes. I guess that was a petrol tank or something, so yeah, that blew up. But now that all the place has been cleared out, we are now going to go straight back to the AC-130. I don't think technically we're in an AC-130. I don't think they specify exactly what we're in. At the beginning of the mission it said Watcher, so I don't know exactly what we would be in. So, but yeah, this bit is now you have to actually avoid patrols. There was a little cut there, you probably didn't notice it, but yeah, I did mess this up the first time. The trick to this is that because your guys are the white guys on the left here that are moving up, and then the enemy's guys are the other white guys. So you have to avoid them. You can't just say, you know, accidentally run into them and then get into a fight with them, because if you do that, then you just die. It just says, you know, you've lost, your team's been wiped out, try again. So that's what happened to me because I wasn't careful enough. So just follow the path I'm following, or just think about it, you know, it's not too hard to do. A little trick I like to do on this is that, as you can see on the top, there's the radar. So if the middle of the screen is directly above the enemies, you can see them on the map, so you can see which way they're facing. Because at first, because they're only tiny little pixels, so you can't really see exactly where they're going or where they're looking. So sometimes, like, that's what happened the first time. I was like, oh, they're going to go that way, and then it turns out they were facing the complete other way. So if you go up above them and look on the radar, you can see which way they're facing, because whichever way they're facing is the way they're going to go. So yeah, all you have to do is select the right one, and I think if you spend too long, the enemies will probably just find you. But I'm not 100% sure on that, don't quote me on that. It's simple, it's a nice little thing, and there we go. So with that done, we're now straight back to being people, but now we can attack. So, yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that one. But yeah, we're doing the old ambush here. I don't know what's the difference between us attacking these guys and the other guys. I guess they just didn't render the forest or wherever we was back then, but mustn't complain. It is now night time, which is pretty cool, and we're just taking out some enemies, so yeah, this is a pretty basic bit, I have to say. So the interesting thing about this campaign, we're going to see this a bit more later on as well, is that it's Modern Warfare 3 Defiance, but it's a lot more like Modern Warfare 2. I'm not too sure if that's a bad thing or not, I don't really mind.
We'll guide you from here.
Okay, so I was just thought they were going to say something important, but they didn't. But yeah, it's really similar to Modern Warfare 2 rather than Modern Warfare 3. I guess they didn't really make the two games alongside each other. They were just like, yeah, whatever, end space, us and Sledgehammer, we're going to go make this game. You do what you got to do, alright? But yeah, this is the second part of being up above. As well as commanding your troops, you can also call it an airstrike. But it does seem to be very specific about where you can call it in. You can't just say there's not going to be like a load of enemies and then you can keep airstriking them. It's, you know, like what just happened there. A tank showed up and the game was like, hey, you should probably take that out. It's a tank. It's going to mess you up badly. So yeah, so you can't use airstrikes all the time. There's another bit here, the way you just have to avoid the enemies. As you can see, there's someone on the left there, so you just have to get out of the way. You can't airstrike them. Actually, maybe you could. I don't know.
Roger that, command.
But I kind of had a bit of troubles with the controls because I couldn't really see which one I had selected. It was late when I recorded, so I doubt anyone else will ever have that problem. But I mean, I did. Oh, and in case you're wondering, yeah, you do have to use the touchscreen here. You can't use button controls. So if you're playing on the DS and you're using the button controls and don't use a stylus, this is probably a mission you're going to want to have the stylus out because you can't just press buttons to do it, you know. So that bit's easy enough. I mean, one thing about this bit or this section is that I would like it if they made it a bit clearer who's like where your guys were.
Thanks for the assist, Watcher.
I mean, I know it's pretty obvious which one are your guys and which ones you're controlling, but it would have been nice if maybe they were just flashing blue or something, like the console games, something like that. I mean, I don't know, but it would have been nice. So I'm not too sure if here it's meant to be all in like slow-mo. I think it's supposed to be, but it didn't really work. It just looked like the game was lagging a bit. I don't know, maybe it wasn't meant to be in slow-mo. I don't know what you guys think, but that did look like they tried to slow it down like the console versions where you just kick in the door and like, no, kill Castro, you know, that kind of sort of deal. So yeah, now I got the A key, because, you know, this last bit is just storming through this building and all that. So the sniper rifle is really good, but it's quite close quarters as well, so you don't have to actually snipe any enemies any like far away, like you saw there. He just showed up and just shoot him in the face. Oh, I guess that guy's kind of far away, but I don't know. And of course, because it's the first-person shooting game, you're always gonna miss one enemy and get shot by the side. One great thing about this game, or I'm gonna say it's a great thing. Some people probably wouldn't agree, but it reminds me of N64 games where they had GoldenEye and Perfect Dark and all that, and shooting games, and they were trying to make them kind of realistic with the people, but of course it fell flat because of how lacking the graphics were back then. And I don't know, this game has the same kind of deal. You look at the enemies and the way they're animated, and it's pretty hilarious. It's pretty funny. I don't know, some people might just complain, be like, oh, the graphics aren't that great, but come on, it's funny. It's funny to see how badly animated they are. I mean, we put up with it with N64 games back in the day, and you know, I don't have a problem with it. I just find it a bit funny because they're going for realism and it's just not quite there. But anyway, this is pretty much the end of the mission. These guys are going to talk at the end, so I'm going to go. So I've been Onstorm23. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.
Watcher, we've cleared the warehouse. This sector is secure.
Copy that. Do you have visual on the weapon cache?
Affirmative. They got a ton of materials here. Weapons, surveillance, all sorts of nasty stuff.
Additional forces are headed that way to secure the area. Hang tight until they make it to your location.
Copy that, Watcher.